friends, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am Vicki and you're with Grammy in the kitchen. Today's going to be a busy day. We're going to make hamburger buns, cinnamon rolls, and pizza to put in the freezer. And we're also going to reset this kitchen by cleaning all the countertops, the cabinets, and the trash can cabinet while we filled up some of our herbs and spices that are running low on our spice rack over there. So stick around, it's going to be a wonderful, great day. Aprons on, let's get started. This is my basic pizza dough recipe. I do have a video on this, so if you're interested, check it in down below. I don't know why I'm still wearing my rings. We're going to divide this into fours. It's a very cold, ugly, well, actually today is very pretty, but yesterday was cold and rainy. Today is just cold. Now you can put this on the scale, divide it into fours equally, but I usually just eyeball it. And roll these. And the way you roll dough is you take it from the top and you pull, go to the bottom, and you pinch it. And you turn it a quarter turn, pull, pinch, pull, pinch, pull, pinch, pull, pinch. And you bring all this up. And you just squeeze it around and you push it down, and that's a pizza dough disc. And I'm going to do the rest. I'm going to do just like that on the rest of these. That way when they rise, they don't rise shaggy. They turn into a perfect little circle. And I do save all of my pizza Ziploc bags that have the oil in it. I keep these in the freezer until I'm ready to use them again. Oil will go rancid at room temperature or even in the refrigerator. Just massaging oil all over that. These in the refrigerator and let them rise in there. Okay, the pizza dough is in the refrigerator rising. Now we're going to move on to hamburger buns. So I'm going to get everything together and I'll bring you right back when we're ready. Okay, this is the hamburger buns. I doubled the batch, so I should get about 14 out of here. We're going to go ahead and knead this a bit, and then we're going to let it do its first rise, set aside, and then move on to the next item. Remember, when we kneading bread, we pull and push in with the palm of our hands. I pull with my right and I knead it with my left. That is all the kneading we need to do. It is a beautiful dough. Have a bowl. A little bit of olive oil. Swish, swish. Make sure it's well coated. Cover it with saran wrap. And since I am doing so many different recipes, I am going to label this. So, I don't think you can see it, but right there it says hamburger. So I got the hamburger buns doing its first rise. Now we're going to move on to cinnamon roll buns. So I'll bring it back when we bring it back down to the table and we start kneading on that. Alright, this is the cinnamon rolls. If you saw in the last video, I did a batch using 3 times the recipe, and it put the mixer to the brink. So this time I am just doubling the recipe. So this is only double the recipe. Just going to give it a slight knead, but I am going to put them in 3 different pans. So I'll put 8 rolls in each pan. Make sure you get all the bits and pieces over here. Get that incorporated in here. The ones that we made on Saturday, I actually took those down to North Carolina when we went to go visit the kids, and we took our 2 grandsons that live close by with us, and they said, well, especially the oldest one, Gabriel, if you saw the video where we were making pizzas together, or pizza pockets and Pop-Tarts, you'll see that the oldest one, Gabriel, he said they were the best cinnamon rolls he has ever had in his life. So I want to make sure we have some cinnamon rolls in the freezer, so when they come over I'll have some ready to just thaw and cook. Alright, I think I got that all nice and incorporated. I do want to go ahead and divide this in half into single recipes. Work on each one individually really quick just to get a cohesive ball. A little sticky. I'm going to add a little bit more flour down here. Do the second one. Actually, you can actually weigh the bulk divided by 2, and you'll get your individual recipe weight. I am not worried about that. Looks like this one's a little bigger, but that's okay. I'm going to use the same bowl, and then I have a second bowl. Got a little bit of olive oil in there. Swish, swish, flip. Swish, swish, flip. Cover it with saran wrap. And I'm going to label these also. So we have 2 cinnamon rolls doing its first rise. We have our hamburger buns doing its first rise. All right, let me clean up a little bit. All right, so when we're ready to turn the hamburger buns into individual buns, I'll bring you right back. So I have the hamburger buns and the 2 cinnamon rolls over there resting. Pizzas are in the refrigerator doing their rising. Now I need to go ahead and fill up my kitchen staple spices. So as you know, I do buy my spices in bulk from As Your Standard. So what I need to fill up is my basil, my Italian season, my garlic, and my onion powder, and I have all 4 of those right here. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the Italian seasoning. And I grabbed the wrong one. Hang on one second. Italian seasoning. Okay, so this is the Italian seasoning. We're going to do the basil. And if you're curious, a pound of spices such as onion powder and garlic powder fits in a quart. A pound of dry herbs fits in a gallon, mostly. Bay leaf and parsley is more than a gallon. But this was a pound of basil when I bought it, but I did give some to my oldest daughter. So let's go ahead and fill this jar up. So basil is done. This one is onion powder. And garlic powder. Oh, I can love the smell of garlic. I love the taste of garlic. Oh, it's so good. So my kitchen staples are filled. I'm going to go put these back in the pantry. Okay, so I've got the large baking sheet over here with parchment paper. I have my hamburger buns. It has done its first rise. When I made these to take to my daughter and my son in North Carolina so they can have some hamburger buns in their freezer, I did decide to weigh them. So on the scale, alright, I am going to weigh the bulk first. Let's see what we have here. The bulk we have 1668, so that's grams, by the way. So we're going to weigh these about 119 grams. You do not have to do this. You can actually eyeball it if you want to. But I thought those buns turned out beautiful when I did weigh them. And they were pretty consistent. $119 grams is 4 1/8 of an ounce. Doesn't have to be a precise. Make it a gram more or less. Just get it as close to 119 as you can. So 118, 120, it's not going to make a big difference. And we're going to roll these up just the way we did our pizza dough. We're just going to make nice little, tidy up little balls and let them do a second rise. If you saw the first video I did with making hamburger buns, you saw that I only did a single recipe. No, I did double that recipe. I doubled that recipe, and I only got 8 buns. Well, those were ginormous buns. So now I get 14 out of a double recipe instead of 8. And they make the perfect size hamburger buns, in my opinion. But you can make them as big or as little as you like. Just get in the kitchen and make them. Everybody in my family raves about the hamburger buns, so they were the best hamburger buns. My oldest daughter actually said they kind of taste like pretzel buns. Never had a pretzel bun, but these are delicious. So we're doing just like the pizza dough. We're going to pull, put them together, and squeeze it. Pull, put it together, squeeze it. So from the top, we're pulling. We're connected them at the bottom. We're going to get it all sealed up. Push that in and give it a flatten, just like a hamburger bun. Again, pull, squeeze at the bottom, pull from the top, squeeze at the bottom, pull from the top, squeeze at the bottom. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and finish these. And then we're going to go ahead and get the dishes washed up, and then we're going to tidy up the kitchen. So far it's been a very productive day. the 4 pizza dough in the refrigerator doing its rise. We got our hamburger buns doing its second rise. We got our cinnamon rolls over in 2 bowls doing its first rise. We're refilled all of our kitchen spices and herbs. And while this is rising and the cinnamon rolls are still rising, we're going to go ahead and do some deep cleaning in the kitchen and wash some dishes. Alright, 14 hamburger buns doing its second rise. I do like to just go through here and give them a little smush to make sure they turn into hamburger buns and not dinner rolls. We have our hamburger buns right here doing its second rise. Still waiting on the cinnamon rolls for the dough to finish its first rise. The dough is still in the refrigerator. It has not risen yet. Now I'm going to go ahead and wash the dishes, and I'm going to go ahead and remove everything off the counter so I can give the countertop a really good cleaning. So this is the counter that's right beside my stove. My stove is, you're literally sitting on the stove. So I took everything off, and I am going to clean this very well. The backsplash, the cabinets above it, we're going to give it a good clean and a good bleach. So in my sink I have some soapy water. I give it a really good wipe down, including the backsplash. My kitchen is a working kitchen. It's not Pinterest worthy, but it's a working kitchen, and it will get dirty. As much cooking as I do in here, it will get dirty. Sensitive to bleach, wearing gloves, I don't bother with that. But do what's best for you. You can use diluted vinegar mixture if you like, with some essential oils. I just do straight bleach because it doesn't bother me, but if it bothers you, please do what you need to do. I usually do this when the husband's at work, but he's actually off today. He took an extended day for vacation time, and I just need to do this. Now I'm just going to go ahead and wipe the cabinet doors down and the facing. Alrighty, that is one side done. Is actually a countertop ice machine. I only use it when we have family gatherings, so I just keep it here in the corner. Can't access that corner because it's so deep, but it's a perfect spot for it. This is the spice rack my son made me for Christmas. That goes goes right here. In these 3 half-pint jars, I have some cilantro that is dry. This was homegrown, home-dried cilantro. That's all I have from last year. And some homegrown, home-dried sage. And some homegrown, home-dried basil. Went ahead and took 2 butters out of the freezer because that's all the butter I have on my countertop. When they thaw, I'll stick these in the refrigerator, and I keep a half of one of these bricks in this container, and I just keep it on my countertop. Alright, so this side is done. Right now we're going to do the other side. This is the one that's closest to the refrigerator. The refrigerator's right there. Good wipe down. There's some bleach on here. This is the cord to the camera, so I can't unplug that. We actually need the camera. Because I keep my coffee pot right here, and I pour my coffee into my cups in this area. Seems to me the grout always stains because I'm always spilling coffee everywhere. I do want to give this piece of grout extra attention just to see if I could get it back to white. And now we're going to work on this spot. This is where the Berkey usually sits. Just giving the microwave a really good wipe down. And once I get all the bleach out of the sink, we'll go ahead and clean the inside really well. I don't want to clean the inside with any chemicals. This is the Berkey stand, and I did get this from Amazon. I got it in the summer of 2021, and I absolutely love this thing. It saves me so much money on bottled water. We do buy bottled water, but the husband takes those to work. And since I get to hang out with y'all every day, I just use the Berkey water. While we're at it, we're going to go ahead and wipe this down. It has a rubber ring on the bottom. Keeps it from slipping on the countertop or moving while it's on the stand. So I went ahead and took that off so we can wash it really well. I don't want to clean it with bleach water, so I made sure I emptied all the bleach out of the sink. Got a clean washcloth.